Alrighty, welcome to the video on functions and equations. So we've got a problem here. It says, write an equation to represent the function shown in the table. And if you remember, we're not looking at the numbers that are going up across right here. We're not looking at the numbers going from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5. We're looking at the relationship between the input and the output. So an equation, of course, we remember that the first four letters here, they almost spell the word equal, so we need an equal sign. And you can see I've got the y. What we want to say is y equals something. So how do we get y? Well, if we multiply the x by 7, I think each time it gets us y. So we would do 7 times x, and that is all there is to it. You just multiply this input, x here, by 7, and you'll get y. So we just created an equation. The other part of this is graphing equation. So let's pretend we had the equation y equals 2 times x. When you're graphing things, you just need a couple of points, and then you can draw a straight line because we're going to get a linear function here. Linear, that word, you can see the word line inside of it. So that's, you can naturally think that this means there's a graph with a line on it. So y equals 2 times x. What I do is I pretend x is easy numbers to multiply in my head. So I know how to multiply 0 in my head really easily. So I always start with that one. So if x is 0, we would do 2 times 0 for 2 times x, right? Because x now is 0. And if that was the case, 2 times 0, y would then be 0, right? Because 2 times 0 is 0. And we're going to just write x and y as coordinates here. So I would write x was 0 in this case, and y was 0. And all we did to get those numbers, we just picked them out right from here. And another number I think that's easy to multiply by is 1. Anything times 1 is itself. So in this case, we have 2 times 1. So if x was 1, in this case, we would do 2 times 1, and y would be 2, because 2 times 1 is 2. So we would write 2 here, and the coordinates, x is going first. We would write 1, comma 2. And then finally, I would use 2 for my next number. Makes sense. And 2 isn't too difficult to multiply, and especially in this case, because we're only doing 2 times 2. You can do that in your heads. 2 times 2 would be 4. And so for my coordinates, I would write x is 2. And then the y would be 4. So down here in the graph, I'm going to plot these points now. And you can see the x is the horizontal axis, and the y is the vertical axis. Alright, so I start with the x-axis at 0 and 0. Well, that's an easy point to plot. That's going to be located. You can see I've labeled every 2 points. So right here would be where 1 would go, and in between 2 and 4 would be where 3 would go. So 0, 0 is just going to be right there. It's right on the corner. And the next point is 1, 2. So you can see the x-coordinate is our 1. So we're actually going to go over 1, and then, as somebody used to say last year, we walk to get on the elevator. So we're going to walk over to 1, and then we're going to take the elevator up 2. And that matches our point 1, 2 right here. And then the last point is 2, 4. So we'd move over 2 on x, and then it says to go up 4 on y. And that would be right there. And if we just connect these points now, we will be able to graph our function. And this is going to keep going like this, so we can put a little arrow on the end of it.